of respect for most of the books I read in middle school. Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, all those books have something good to them, a place in my heart. But there's one that does not. The Selection. Oh boy, could I write an essay on everything I hate about this very beloved series. Unpopular opinion, people might hate me for this video, but this series brings me so much rage in my soul. You don't even understand how much I despise this book. Okay, it's not that I'm against the genre. The dystopian genre happens to be one of my favorite genres ever. This book is a disgrace to the dystopian genre. This book doesn't know what genre it wants to be. It has princesses in ball gowns, but yet it takes place in the future in America for no reason. Also, this video is full of spoilers, not holding anything back if you haven't read this series. So, spoiler warning, if you have not read this book somehow. It takes place in America in the future when China conquered America for some reason, and then America took itself back over, but it turned itself into a monarchy. I literally hate this book so much, I don't remember what the monarchy is called. This series, I read it in middle school, and even then I hated it, and it took me weeks to read it. And I suffered through the 3 books. I didn't even read the other 3. I didn't care. But I read the main trilogy. And anyway, let's start with things I hate from the beginning. 1, the concept of America turning into a monarchy makes no sense whatsoever. I forgot what the country is even called. I'm gonna try to figure out right now. I don't know how to say that. That's what America's turned into for some reason. And now there's a prince and a king, and if there's a prince, for some reason there's gonna be a royal competition for what girl gets the prince's love instead of letting the prince choose his own wife, which is like odd. But okay, so this girl, she doesn't want to be selected because she's already in love. She's in love with a boy poorer than her, which is gonna make her poor, but she doesn't care because she's in love and she's loyal to him. She's loyal to her boyfriend. But then she falls in love with the prince and abandons her boyfriend. Except for the time she cheats on the prince to go be with her old boyfriend. Oh, I hate her so much. And guess what her name is? Her name's America Singer. And guess what her family's occupation is? They're singers. They perform. I hate this book. I don't even know why I own it. Anyway, she gets selected even though she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to go live in the palace and marry the prince. She doesn't want to because she wants to be poor. Anyway, but she goes and she's like to the prince, she's all mean. She's like, I hate you. I don't want to be here. And he's like, whatever, that's chill. You can stay here as long as you need, because he kind of likes her. And the prince, he's the only good character in the book. He never did anything wrong. He's a little cringy. His name's Maxon, except the whole time I was reading it in middle school, I thought it was Maxton. I added a T to the name, so now knowing that it's Maxon kind of annoys me. But, that's his name. It's a stupid, stupid name. He's really basic. He's like this blonde-haired, blue-eyed prince, and he wants to find a wife. And, so him and America just are kind of friends, because she's like, I don't like you, and he's like, that's fine, but you can stay here because I like you. So they kind of have a mutual relationship. And also, there's a rebellion, there's underground rebels, and they attack the palace. Also, I don't remember where the lines between the first book and the second book and the third book are, so when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about all the books. The rebels are attacking the palace at some point, and they never really explain what their point is. They don't like the king, I guess, so they keep trying to blow him up, which is stupid. And I also haven't read these in years, so I don't, if I get my facts wrong, don't kill me. I just hate this book. Yeah, and, I'm mostly going to talk about the third book because the third book's what I remember the most. The second one is really a blurry memory. I don't remember. I remember they were in a bunker at some point and she learned about the prince's traumatic past, that his, like, dad was mean to him or something. Like, and she's like, oh my goodness, he's been through so much. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm saying these tortured princes that have like been spoiled their whole lives rich in a castle, but then their dad's abusive, and then that's like the whole thing, like, oh, poor little guy. And it's like, yeah, poor little guy, but also he's a prince and he's rich and he's gonna be the king, and then he can do whatever he wants. Then, okay, I mostly want to talk about the third book. In the third book, she decides to, like, sneak out, and I don't even know what she was doing. Was she meeting with the rebels? She was doing something. But in the process, she gets, like, shot. She literally gets shot. But then she, like, is still running, and she's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize it, but I was shot in the arm. Like, how do you not realize that, you idiot? And then, she goes back to the castle, and the prince is like, man, no one can know that you snuck out and got shot. So they literally, like, hide it. Like, how do you hide being shot? Like, I hate this book. I hate this book. That was my biggest pet peeve with this book, honestly. And anyway, in the end, there was, like, an attack, and the prince was shot, and he was gonna die. And he said the stupidest words I've ever heard in my life. He said, break my heart, break it 1,000 times. It was only ever yours to break. Okay, I get that's supposed to be romantic, but it's low-key cringe, buddy. I can't, it's fine. Also, the whole time that they're, like, having their sweet romance, he's also simultaneously dating 10 other girls because of the selection. So, and also America is also sneaking off with her ex-boyfriend who's a palace guard now for no reason. All the time. And they're cheating on each other all the time. It makes me so mad. And then at the end, they finally decide to get married. And he, like, proposes to her. And it's like, oh my goodness, they're gonna get married in the epilogue. And they're getting married in the epilogue. And then, you know who's walking her down the aisle? You know who's walking her down the aisle to marry the prince? Her ex-boyfriend that she cheated on the prince with. He walks her down the stupid aisle because her dad died. Who decided that was a good idea? Kiera Cass did. Okay. Well, that's really all I have to say. Okay, but I will admit, the series is so entertaining. This is, like, it's kind of entertaining, but it's absolute garbage, but, like, it's also terrible and unbearable, but at the same time, it's fun. Okay, I get why people like it. It's not for me, and it gets categorized as dystopian, futuristic, when it doesn't feel like it at all. Like, they could have just, like, I don't know what they could have done, but they could have done something. I feel like this concept works better as a fantasy book than a futuristic dystopia. If this was a fantasy, that'd be like, okay, yeah, this is fine. Minus the love triangle. I hate love triangles. I hate love triangles. Minus the love triangles. This would be a great fantasy book, but they tried to make it a dystopian that gets classified in the sci-fi category when there's not a single sci-fi element in this stupid disgrace of a book. I'm done.